Hi Scorpio, thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. It's Veroosh and I'm here to do your reading for the rest of the year. I'm excited to be here with you guys to do your tarot and astrology. It's mostly tarot. I'm just going to explain to you why we're doing the love reading now. And if you're interested in more details on the astrology, go into the description. I have a collective astrology reading there, and at the end of the video, it explains all of these transits in depth. But the first thing we're going to do is take a look at your cards to see what your entry level frequency is into the last 6 months of the year. 2021 is almost over. Soon we'll be doing 2022 readings. Oh no, Three of Swords. Okay, so I'm going to honor it, right? This means that broken hearts are an issue. Amending a broken heart, healing a broken heart, I'm guessing is the point of the situation. So if you're coming here and you're heartbroken, then you know, my condolences, and I hope that you find your way through it. Let me show you astrologically right away. I can see where the issue is. Your transit of the North Node is in the 8th house of death and endings. So many of you may have, over the last year and a half, gone through some very terrible transformations in your life, or having lost relationships, or, you know, separated from people that you really cared about. And one thing that Scorpios are not necessarily, it's understated about Scorpios, is that you are actually a very loving, sensitive sign. So when people make jokes that Cancers hold on to feelings and emotions, I feel like that is just a little bit like you have the same similar frequency is what I was trying to say. So with the Three of Swords, I don't feel like evil is about to happen to you or you're about to have a bad time. But I do feel as though one of the primary energies for love for the rest of the year is you working through heartbreak that you have gone through and that you're currently processing. The next card is the Four of Pentacles. This is Sun in Capricorn. Listen, this is a message for those of you who did break up with someone, point blank. I think you know that they were not willing to come out of their shell for you. That's what it is. And people oftentimes in these situations will cover it up with a bunch of excuses and other justifications of why they're not doing something, why they're not opening up. But at the bottom, the baseline reason for that is they were just unwilling to let down their walls and, you know, approach you. If you're in a relationship, you could have been struggling with this with your partner, where your partner is unwilling to open up, and this is really hurtful and difficult for you to be with. That doesn't mean it's going to continue, but this is the energy. It says right there, this is what many of you are struggling with. Transformation, sadness because of transformation, and then also an inability to change. We have the Ten of Swords here. If you're dating a woman, Scorpio, there could have been a real moment in which you two had very separate feelings about things. There was a line that was drawn in the sand that separated you two, and there was a no going back, a deal breaker situation. Let's see the next message. We have the High Priestess. If you're dating a man, then I think your intuition about them is correct. Let's hope that this is a good message of intuition. Nine of Swords. Scorpio is just getting pummeled in this first line. I bet it's going to turn around, but here are some tough cards right from the get-go. As tough as you get. I have a feeling that in your environment, maybe some of the people that were around you were not the best quality. I feel like somebody was working against you. This affected your relationship. A friend who's not a friend. was there. Let me show you with the Venus or Lilith in the 7th house. So Lilith is just finishing up her transit of Taurus in your 7th house. Known enemies, you know who they are, you know what they're up to, you know what they're doing. This transit is ending in mid-July, 17th of July. So it's a good thing, and it's going to be gone for 10 years. So good riddance, Lilith. I think that you got hurt in a very public way. And I feel like there's heartbreak and sadness, regret, but there's also a deeper understanding of what was going on, what had happened. And I think that now that whatever's happened in your life is dead and done, you are now ready to move forward into the future. If you are a female, it's very likely that you had been given information from someone about the end of a situation, like guidance. A friend gave you advice. I don't know what that sound is. Sorry about that. But someone gave you advice. Someone gave you guidance. I think that you took a hopeful route to a situation. You were hopeful about it. And now you come to realize that, unfortunately, maybe some of the goodwill you've put into situations is not actually helping you a lot. Whatever's going on around you, it feels like very, very intense. And here I sat down with the best intentions, with the best positive energy. It's so hot and beautiful here now. And I looked at your chart with the transits up in your 9th and 10th house, and I'm like, wow, they're really going to have a good 6 months. So before we're going to do more tarot, before we get into it, I think I'm going to honor it because I think that there's going to be a massive turnaround. I think this is the context that we're looking at. I think that this is a necessary step in separation. I think Scorpios, it doesn't, how do you say, we don't talk enough about Scorpios, about their loyalty and how they really carry the situation through, even when it's hurtful, even when it's difficult. And the consequences of being a ride and die, like that kind of trustworthy person, is that you end up with consequences if the situation is not okay. And so you're taking risks for the benefit of people you love all the time, because you love them, because you have good faith in them. And sometimes it's really hard when you realize that those circumstances, those relationships, you know, are what they have been seeming like. The red flags are real and so forth. So if you've been through this, my heart out to you. Let's talk about the astrology because it's very hopeful. There's a reason why I'm doing a love reading right now. I feel maybe I have Scorpio placements. I have 4 Scorpio placements, including my rising sign. I love Scorpios. You guys know this. But anyway, so maybe I'm picking up, maybe that's why I wanted to do this reading in part, because I feel like I'm hitting the nail on the head for many people. But anyway, so we have the new moon that's happening in Cancer on July 9th through the 10th. 9th on Turtle Island and the 10th anywhere east of that. So it's in the 9th house. New beginnings. I think a new beginning is overdue, and maybe this is why it's coming up as so a situation is so dead in the water. Something's just has finished so that new things can begin. So by the time you're watching this, maybe you're already past this point and you're like, yeah, there was that week where everything felt really, really grimy. And you know, what I really am picking up on, whether you're single or in a couple, is that you understand that you were dealing with a person who was just not willing to open up and give. And you were giving them the benefit of the doubt, but it kept on falling back on your shoulders as an unopened person. Okay? So this new moon in Cancer could be a triggering point for expansion and growth. For you in the 9th house, new opportunities to travel. Maybe for some of you, it's a good idea to start thinking about going in a different direction somewhere. So traveling somewhere else, being somewhere else. Maybe this is the sign that a cycle has ended where you currently are. Then we have the North Node with Aldebaran. I talked about this a lot last month. But this month, the true North Node, the real one, is with Aldebaran on July 15th. But the whole month of July, the North Node is with Aldebaran. You can celebrate and enjoy. In the 8th house, it's really about, where the endings are happening. You know when you have to take an ending. You know where you have to change things. But also building partnership with people. You know what kind of partnership, especially on the financial front, that you want. You know where you want things to grow. If you're in a relationship, you could be taking steps to that. I assume that the steps were already taken towards shared resources with someone else earlier in June and in May. But even now, your mind is really focusing on who you can partner up with and who are the people you can share with, okay? So this is a very blessed transit for you. It's probably the most transformative one. So if you're feeling like down in the dumps and a little bit blue right now, this North Node with Aldebaran will really liven things up and give you an opportunity to shift from whatever's not working, because there's definitely something not working for you right now, towards something hopeful and beautiful. Then we have the conjunction with Venus and Mars, and this is a cycle that's going to last about 6 months. The conjunction between Venus and Mars doesn't happen all the time, but over the next 6 months, it's going to happen 3 times. So Venus has passed the Sun and now is making her conjunction with Mars in Leo. Then she will continue to move forward, have a retrograde period in Capricorn, and then Mars is going to catch up to her while she's slow, because she's faster than Mars. Girls are faster than boys. And Mars is going to pass her, but then within 3 weeks, she's going to pass Mars on March 22nd, I think in Aquarius or late Capricorn. So what you're looking at is this area of your chart signifying a transformation in love. A lot of introspection, looking out at your friends and trying to figure out what to change. And then looking inward and making a personality change, I'm not saying you need one, but I'm saying changes in your personality can have the most dramatic effect on the world around us, because it's the only thing we can really truly control. So you may have a different perspective, a different approach to things, look at things from a different perspective. And then as this transit continues, March 22nd, 2022, it's a bit of a tongue twister. I feel as though some things for you are changing. And this, along this line, the IC, this has to do with original stuff in your life. The first things that you went through as a child, what your habits, your expectations of relationships may change. So if you are a little disappointed within relationships at this time, if you're getting hurt, something's really over, you feel like something's really over, it's actually congruent to your chart, because in some way you're meant to start from scratch with something, a new beginning. Okay. There's also a conjunction here in the 9th house on the 5th of July. This continues right until the 9th. And this is a star called Sirius. And so maybe if you're watching this after the 9th of July, which many of you will be, then look back and see, did something happen that week that was transformative, that gave me hope in a new direction? Focus on expansion and growth at this time, Scorpio, and see where you take things. If this is within a relationship and you're fine with your partner and everything's great, one or both of you could be struggling with the outside world. And you could be pretty much done with where you are and ready to go in a different direction. And there could be a broken heart attached to all of that, disappointment that, your homeland is not your homeland, sort of thing. Many of us, I'm an immigrant, so, you struggle with issues of diaspora, like where is home? Who am I? Are these people actually my allies and friends? All these kinds of things. So that's like a perpetual issue of the modern Western world, right? Who are we and where do we fit in? And we all have some variation of that, right? And even if you were born where you are watching, right? If you have never immigrated anywhere, people in those situations also feel alienation from where they are. So it doesn't necessarily mean that there's an issue between you and your partner. It could be an issue where you and your partner are just done with where you are and now you're going in a different direction. Okay, so then we have the star, which is the card of Aquarius. If you have an Aquarian family member, they're going to be very important at this time. Also, your family relationships are faded at this time. Very important, helpful. They will help you through devastation. They will help you through difficult times. Then we have the 5 of Swords. You're saving face towards other people. I feel like somebody here, I don't know if it's you or someone else, they're saving face, defending themselves. You know, they put their ego on the line and now they have to stand up for what they said or did. And that's really closely linked to this 4 of Pentacles, in which someone is not opening up. So maybe they are within a relationship, or maybe they're flirting with a relationship, but not really. They're taking like a cowardly approach. They're unwilling to change, unwilling to transform, unwilling to have certain conversations because they feel safe where they are. And it's like a covert way to displace responsibility on others. So they're kind of there, kind of not. And then we have the 5 of Swords, which is like defending yourself, defending your honor, defending what you said. And the consequences, it's all tied up. It feels as though you've been around someone who's compromised your well-being. Then we have the Knight of Swords, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, secondary transits in air as well. And so I think that air signs are looking really good for you, Scorpio, and that's shown up more than once. So we have maybe a person who is around who is of help. They could be a sibling or a family member, because Aquarius came up in this position here. But someone's very important. They maybe are an air sign. I feel as though they bring clarity. They could be a Gemini too, because this 10 of Swords is Sun in Gemini. Someone's coming in with clarity on a matter, rectifying a situation, bringing a fresh air in, a fresh approach, a fresh perspective. And then we have the 2 of Pentacles here. So listen, whatever's happened, you are going to pick up the pieces and deal with it on your own in a quiet way. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to put everything back by yourself. But I think that you're going to have much more control over a situation when you do so. So I feel like something's a mess around you and you're going to have to put it back piece by piece and, you know, take full kind of custody over it. King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. A Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn may be extremely lucky for you at this time. You might be actually in a relationship or entering into a relationship with such a person. It could have been not perfect leading up to this point, so don't discount the people with whom you've had some disagreements with, especially if they're not abusive or like hurtful. If it's just a conflict of interest or something like that, and you feel like it's not going to work out, you might be surprised that this person brings very good energy in. Let me show you something, because as I'm looking at the chart as I'm doing these as always, and so I see this Uranus in your 7th house, which is the unexpected. Love this transit for you. It gets you out of your comfort zone and improves things for you. We have Ceres in Taurus, and then Lilith is leaving, thankfully. What I instinctually felt, so this is more intuitive astrology, Lilith leaving Taurus in the 7th house kind of adds buoyancy to the situation and leaves you sort of being able to revisit your 7th house of partnerships, and those partnerships start moving. Issues of partnerships and relationships start moving for you much better. And so with Lilith, the stress of the oppressor, the stress of the antithesis, the opposition, the danger is being removed by July 17th. I think that maybe for some of you, especially those of you who are dealing with like an earth sign person, that fluidity may actually start coming through and showing up in your life again. So if you feel very disconnected from something, like I'm saying, there's a turnaround. And I feel like Lilith in your 7th house has really worked through you guys in a very intense way. And I think that's what I was getting at. Sometimes I'm channeling at the beginning and I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I've trained myself to say it anyway, because oftentimes at the end I see how it's all connected. But anyway, so I know the part that I was saying that like you're sensitive like a Cancer and you hold on to relationships, and like sometimes you don't even know why or what's going on or what's there. And then you get hurt if it doesn't work. Maybe this isn't you being hurt. Maybe this is actually you worried that it's over. You worried that maybe you were the one who was not allowing a relationship to begin, and then the panic sets in when you think the relationship is over. I feel the Knight of Swords is definitely a helpful energy for you at this time. I feel like this is a person who comes in who sort of brings you like peace of mind and clarity and strength. I feel like this person gives you wisdom, like says, what are you doing? Like, why are you choosing this path? They make you think about what you're doing so you are more conscious about the decisions you're making. I really feel as though there's a turnaround. With this card, I really see you as in an uncomfortable moment. It's like humiliating that you promised people that things were going to be one way and they didn't turn out. I see you as this green child here, defending yourself to other people. I said this, I can see you saying it, you know, I said this, and, you know, like a person of their word, and then it doesn't follow through in the way that you said. And so you feel a great humiliation around that. Conflictual feelings, heavy feelings, but I think you're going to work through it. And the more that I look at this, I feel like it's a temporary state, or maybe even your apprehension, more so than something that's actually going to happen or is happening. Like this is more you giving up on something, feeling heartbroken, you throw something away. You give up hope in a relationship, particularly if you are a female Scorpio. You feel as though you're hurt by your friends, betrayed by your friends. And so there's all these mixed feelings. If you're a male Scorpio, you could have a lot of insight about what's going on. And so therefore you might actually not be so lost in this situation. The next message is the World card. Okay, so something is being set right in the world at large around you. I think that things are turning for the better. I double down on my suggestion that many of you are going to make a big change in the next 6 months. Go somewhere else, travel, expand your horizons. 9 of Pentacles. I love this. So if you're worried about money, because I did sense some worry about money, what's happening with money. I shared money with someone and now I don't know what's going on. I feel like, I feel as though your financial situation is going to be sound and stable. I feel like some of you are worried about money, and so I think that finances are going to be actually quite good. Now, this is all relative, right? So it's relative based on all of our abilities and strengths. And so the 9 of Pentacles is very much you being at peace with how much you have for yourself. We all want a Ferrari, right? But a Ferrari isn't necessarily success for all of us. For some of us, these successes are individual. So whatever your point of stability and success is. And I feel like maybe some of you said something to other people about money and then it didn't go how you planned. And so there's an embarrassment there. But also So like a financial advisor of some kind, and then it didn't go as you had planned, or told your parents to invest in something and it didn't go the way you wanted. But I think that there is going to be a positive outcome with this. And so don't worry. It's a personal humiliation around money, possibly, like, and especially with the fact that you put yourself on the line to say certain things or make promises. There's your card, the Six of Cups in this position. I feel like, I just feel like for those of you who are struggling, there's a strong energy here of people that are thinking about the past, and they're thinking about relationships that had passed, and not passed away, but I mean are in the past. And I feel as though those relationships were riddled with very dark thoughts and feelings. And I feel that now your good feelings are reborn about a situation. Gratitude and thankfulness and happiness is found regarding that. And so the pain and the struggle of feeling worried and hammered on or cornered or really stuck in suffering is being removed because peace is found within a relationship. And then we have the Devil, Mr. Devil, Capricorn, very important sign for you. Capricorn is extremely compatible to Scorpio. So high five. And if you're like a late placing Scorpio, I mean born close to Sagittarius, or if you have placements at the end of the wheel. So for this chart isn't just for your rising sign, like a traditional chart. This chart is for your sun, moon, and rising chart. So it doesn't matter which one it is, but if your placements are up here, then Capricorn is straight dab in your second house. And so people with Capricorn placements bring in great stability. I really feel like money is an issue for you, and I really feel like the stability you want stability to come in. And so it's possible that there's a Capricorn around you, or a Taurus, a Virgo, but I get the Capricorn energy the strongest, Sun in Capricorn here, providing the stability. I feel, could it be that for some of you, somebody promised security and they didn't live up to their promises, and it led to a lot of suffering, and so now there is that promise, whether through that individual or somebody else. Moon in Taurus. So when you meet someone, when you're interacting with someone, I think that focusing on this person, how about this? This person doesn't give in the way that you are expecting. So if they don't seem like they're particularly financially generous at first, don't discount them. So if you've met somebody and they're sort of, not necessarily like buying you a lot of things or whatever, I have a feeling that you're dealing with someone who has been hurt financially. And so this person might be conservative with how they show their wealth to people, because of worried of attracting the wrong type of attention. That's a very strong message, because it feels like this King of Pentacles could have issues of their own, where they have some fears or worries and anxieties. There was an influence of a Knight of Wands, a Sag, a Leo, or an Aries, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, possibly male, female, it doesn't matter which. This is just general guides. But this Knight of Wands, very unstable energy was in your life, Scorpio. I feel like, I don't feel like the Knight of Wands caused this, but it's sometimes when we're in a state of instability, we attract people that are unstable, and that just maximizes our experience of instability and accentuates it. That's what I feel like has been going on. And then you get caught in a perpetual cycle of instability around people, and you can't stop it until such a time as you can. And so if you've been caught in this unstable time, Scorpio, I feel like this is really coming to an end now. I sense helplessness in the cycle. Like you got caught in it, and it's been an ongoing process of crazy, stir crazy energy. And now this person that's a representative of that frequency, the last person maybe who's bringing instability into your life, is being removed, and really quickly, probably. Then we have Moon in Libra, the Two of Swords. Look for a Moon in Libra person. This person might be like a person that is very fated for you. And so I feel as though you've been very pressured to react in situations with people in the immediate present without much room to look at things over a long period of time. Whether it's schedule issues or whatever has created this situation, you've had to make decisions about people almost right there and now, and that has been the biggest detriment to your peace of mind and stability. So now you're shifting away into a space where you will have the opportunity to meet people and get to know them over a long period of time. And I think that there will be no rush for you to have to deliberate about their character and their all this stuff. Everything's going to be much more peaceful now. Then we have the Four of Wands. And so this is Sun in Aries, I believe, Four of Wands. And so there's been doubts about the potential of buying a home, success in the home, all these types of things. Saturn has been transiting in your fourth house, which literally causes issues. So it can lead to a massive life move, a massive life change, but it can also put barriers to buying a home at a good price or having all sorts of different things in the way. And so there's been a lot of mixed feelings. If you're trying to buy a home, move in with your partner, I feel like there's just been roadblocks that have discouraged you, but they're not going to last forever. And there's going to be, so maybe you want whatever you want now, but maybe in a little bit of time, it'll be a better time. I really feel like the better time is coming up for you. Then we have the Five of Cups. Okay. I feel as though, I just feel like you've been pulled into situations in which you felt a certain degree of being pulled into them. That these situations that were complicated or weighed down, and I feel like they made you sad and they complicated things for you. And again, I feel like you're elevating and moving past the consequences of some of these things. And then we have the last card, which is the Emperor. Very lucky card, a new beginning. I just feel like you have to wipe the slate clean in order to have the fresh start. And I feel like your start is now beginning. I feel like this is you wiping the slate clean, or maybe having wiped the slate clean, you're very afraid of where things are going. But I think that everything's falling into place. I think that things are fundamentally improving for you. I think bad people are being removed, and I think good people are coming in with positive energy and positive intentions. And I think more importantly, you're letting go of certain things that really troubled you in the past, or the consequences of bad situations that sort of made you unable to be of an easy character in things. Then we have the Strength card. This is the card of Leo. And this is your, and then we have the Eight of Swords that just fell out. So I feel as though maybe a Leo with an air Knight of Swords energy, air and fire, somebody who gives you spunk, somebody who gives you inspiration to go in a certain direction. Somebody who puts like faith back into your heart about the possibility of love. These things are here for you, Scorpio. Now let's take a look at what signs are most important, because this is important. Oh, look out for other Scorpios there. sun, moon, and rising. Let's take a look at your, let's see. So we have Scorpio, and then we have Gemini. Okay, so we have, you should be looking out for people who have Gemini or Scorpio transits, or maybe important things will happen for you during Scorpio season. I know we're past Gemini season now, but maybe next year after the conjunction. Anyway, it's an intense reading. I hope you don't mind. I think that it's going to be very good. I think like Rome wasn't built in a day would be a mantra for this, or there's like put passion behind what you're doing. I think the first row is like we find you completely daunted by what's going on, overwhelmed by your circumstances. And by the end of this 6-month period, I think you're actually moving on and maybe looking back to things with a little bit of regret, but you're really carrying on towards your goals and ambitions. And I feel like you're well on your way to achieve them. Okay. And I feel like in terms of relationships, I feel like it starts off with heavy apprehension, even heartbreak at first, thinking that the world's caved in on you and things have not worked out at all. But I think at the end, at the end of this time period, December, you start putting things together and genuinely building a home, building a family, and building good things. So it's not as bad as you think, Scorpio. Okay? Take care. Thank you for watching. Bye.